Stop setting goals. Build a system that works fully on its own. Some of us already failed our New Year resolution. You don't just know yet. Now, this isn't my typical video, but I've been seeing a lot of same patterns lately from friends, people online. Everyone's setting these massive goals for the new year. Of course, Happy New Year, guys. I've been through this circle a lot of time, and I think someone might benefit from how I think about it now. So, I used to set goals like every January, say, losing weight or learning a new framework, or even build side projects, and then by February, that's it, nothing happens. Like the entire motivation dies. Then I stopped setting goals entirely, and then everything starts to change bit by bit, which I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm able to do it. So if this helps one way or the other, please share it with someone who might need it. And you never can tell. Let's help other people succeed this new year. Something that is very, very clear is that goals helps you focus on outcomes that you can't control. But then system focus on actions that you repeat every day. So most people think I want to learn how to code, and then they immediately sign up for 5 courses. I've also been there. And then after that, they rely on motivation, and at some point motivation dies, and then they are back to square one. But here is the thing. Your brain doesn't work on motivation. It works on patterns. And so we are going to use that pattern now. So the first example here is you want to become a better developer. You want to improve your skills, and it's a new year, and you want to change the way you approach things. Stop setting goals like, learn React, or probably get a job at Google. Instead, build a chain, and I'll explain what that looks like. Let's say you open your laptop, that is the first step. And then before opening YouTube or Twitter, and you then open like VS Code, and you write, let's say 10 lines of code. That's an action. And then you've changed that action towards multiple things that align with making you a better developer. So just 10 lines, you could probably have fixed a comment, or it could even be something as simple as, creating a function. It doesn't matter. So that trigger is opening your laptop, which you already, did that. And then the next one triggers opening VS Code, and then VS Code triggers the actual code that you were able to write. Now, with 2, you can extend that particular chain to, let's say, from 10 lines of code to Google one thing that you do not understand. And then you can add another chain to it, let's say, writing it in your notes, just taking notes after Googling one thing that you don't understand. So the following week, which is week 3, from 10 lines of code to Googling, and then to writing in your notes, and finally, you can now push to GitHub. So 6 months later, if you look back, you will realize that you have almost 180 commits, a portfolio, a very important knowledge about understanding and becoming a better developer, and you never set a goal doing all of these things. And this applies to everything as well. In fact, I use this every day in my life. I apply it to everything. So another interesting example is, let's talk about weight loss. Same principle. I think James Clear also calls this an habit stacking, where I'm going to tell you exactly how to implement it. So if you want to lose weight, for example, so let's say your current morning workflow is when you wake up, you pee, and then you make a coffee. So this routine already happens like every single day. You don't need any willpower for this. You just do the same thing repeatedly because it's normal. Now, let us chain it to something. Whenever you wake up and you pee, and then you make a coffee as usual, you then drink 1 glass of water. That's it, just water. After coffee, every time. Then the following week, you wake up again, pee, make a coffee, drink water, and then eat 1 apple, just 1 apple. Then week 3, you wake up every day, you pee, you make a coffee, you drink water, you eat apple, just 1 apple, and then you go for a 5-minute walk. See what happened? No willpower needed. So what happens there is that the chain pulls you forward. The coffee triggers, drinking water, and now the water triggers the apple, and now the apple triggers the walk. By week 4, you have automatically consumed 2 liters more water, eaten 28 apples, and walked 140 minutes without a single goal. Sounds interesting. I'm going to give you one more example. Let me relate this to content creation. For example, let's say you have a plan to create content consistently, and then you've been struggling. Yes, that's okay. Content creation takes a lot. 4 years ago, I tried to become a content creator. I set a goal to post 3 times a week, and that lasted for just 6 weeks. But now, I've posted consistently for 18 months. What exactly changed in my routine? I stopped trying to be consistent for a bit. I just made my phone trigger writing, and then before that triggers scrolling on any social media app. Let's say your current behavior every morning is to scroll through so many social media apps. So this is what happens. You pick up your phone, you try to open a note app first, and then write one thing that you learn or struggle with, and then you check your social media apps, any of them, right? So what's that thing that you need to write about, that one sentence? It could be, you debugged an API issue, or you slept well yesterday, or something, anything, and that's it. Week 2, from writing one sentence, you change it to one paragraph. You still continue the same flow. And then week 3, from one paragraph to maybe save it in the content ideas folder on your note app, on your phone, or anywhere. And then the following week, you grow from that one paragraph to idea folders, and then to scheduling one post per week from that particular folder. Now, you are a consistent creator, not because you set goals, but because your phone triggers writing automatically, and that gets added to your workflow seamlessly. See, to be honest, goals makes you feel bad until you achieve them. And then after achieving them, you feel empty because now what? But system makes you feel good every day because you did the chain, which is your normal workflow, and then you won. Goals rely on so many motivation from anywhere, while systems just rely on the environment and the actual triggers. And then finally, goals have endpoints, system compound forever. So how do you build your own first chain? All you need to do is just pick something you already do daily, maybe coffee, brushing your teeth, opening your laptop, praying very early in the morning, any of these things, right? Add one tiny action, any small tiny action, like really, really small. Do that only for 1 week, just 1 week. Then week 2, you add the next link, any other thing that you want to do after adding just one thing, anything small to any routine that you already do every morning. Don't break the chain, and when you do break it, because you will, of course, don't reset to 0, just start the next day. The chain isn't about perfection, it's about your default behavior. So what happens there is that you need to track the chain and not the outcome. At the end of the day, do you do the actions? Yes, and then you won. January will end, your motivation will be gone, your goals will be forgotten, but your chain will continue to run themselves. I have a very simple assignment for you. Here is what I want you to do. Tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, write one sentence, just one. It could be about anything. And then every morning, do it for a week. Then come back and tell me what happened. Stop setting goals, build systems. The results are just a side effect. I hope this helps. Bye.